Crosta and Mollica has recalled a range of pasta sauces over fears that it may contain pieces of glass. The Italian food manufacturer has recalled jars of its Crosta and Mollica sugo alla norma aubergine, ricotta and tomato because the possible presence of glass makes them potentially unsafe to eat. The recalled pasta sauces are packaged in the 340-gram jars, featured a batch code of Y008V, and have a best before date of 8th of January 2027. Crosta and Mollica said that the recalled range has only been sold in Waitrose stores. In a recall notice issued to its customers, the food service provider has explained the cause for the recall and advised consumers to return the product to the store where they bought it or another Waitrose store for a full refund. Consumer and retailers can also contact Crosta and Mollica with further questions. We apologise that it has been necessary to recall this product and for the inconvenience caused. Dawn Meats has secured a multi-million-pound export contract to South Korea to supply food service, retail and manufacturing customers across the country. The agreement will see the Irish meat processor supply beef monthly to a leading South Korean company. It comes off the back of the announcement that the country has agreed to open its market to Irish beef for the first time. Dawn Meats has secured approval for the supply, marketing and distribution of bone and boneless beef cuts, and official into South Korea from its sites in Greenock in County Waterford and Charleville in County Cork. The contract is the culmination of 6 years of negotiations by the manufacturer, which included a successful visit by representatives of the South Korean company to Ireland in January of this year, and an audit of Irish beef plants by South Korean authorities last month. Niall Brown, Dawn Meats chief executive, said, "We welcome this new market access to South Korea, and we are delighted that 2 of our sites have received South Korean approval. It is a testament to the high-quality beef supplied by our family farm suppliers, and it is a significant step in developing new market opportunities for our products. We look forward to working with our customers in the South Korean market, who will be crucial to helping to bring quality Irish beef to the plates of South Korean customers." Dawn Meats is already a supplier of Irish beef into other markets in the region, including the Philippines and Japan. Greater variety within agricultural areas is a potential win-win for farmers and nature. More diverse wildlife thrives on farms, benefiting both farmers and the environment. When there is variety in the agricultural landscape, a global study has found. Specifically, the types of crops and non-crop features on farms, as well as how they are arranged, should be varied, according to research led by Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. The optimum approach would be to grow different crops like vegetables, cereals and fruit trees on the same farm in varying field sizes and layouts, as well as have semi-natural landscape features that are not crops like shrubs, grassy borders and strips of wildflowers. This variety increases the number of native animal and plant species such as pollinators and predators of pests, compared to agricultural lands that have just one type of crop grown on a single uniform landscape. Such an improvement in biodiversity arises because variability in crops and non-crop features creates diverse habitats for different types of wildlife. One of the main drivers of declines in biodiversity is increased farming to raise food production, so boosting the diversity of wildlife on farmlands is key in helping the environment. Farmers stand to gain too, as past research suggests that better biodiversity could improve crop yields. For example, by encouraging more pollinators of crops and more predators to feed on crop pests, say the researchers of the latest study published in March 2024 in Ecology Letters. Associate Professor Eleanor Slade from NTU's Asian School of the Environment, ASE, and senior author of the study said, "Our study demonstrates that maintaining diverse crop and non-crop habitats within agricultural landscapes is important for agricultural biodiversity on a global scale. This finding holds significant implications and provides valuable insights for policymakers, land managers and conservationists. By prioritising the strategies that promote crop and landscape heterogeneity, stakeholders can help preserve biodiversity and also support sustainable agricultural practices." The scientists also believe that increasing that diversity of crop types and non-crop features within farms could be a more appealing and practical approach for farmers to contribute to biodiversity, conservation and non-existing methods. Tharaka P.S. Priyadashana, a PhD student from ASE, and the lead author of the study, said some strategies suggested that farmers reduce farming activity to restore semi-natural habitats that encourage wildlife or consider organic farming that uses less chemicals. But when we look at the practicality of these strategies, they cannot be applied by many farmers, compared to having a good mix in crops and non-crop landscape features. Professor Emily Poppenborg-Martin from Germany's Justus University Gießen and the second author of the research said this study is very important because of the crucial results it shows for a wide range of organisms, such as invertebrate predators and pollinators, which play key roles in agriculture. The evidence is clear: maintaining the biodiversity support system for production of food, energy, and feed goes hand in hand with learning how to diversify farmed landscapes globally. The researchers analysed close to 6,400 farmlands reported in 122 previous studies conducted in 24 countries across Asia, Europe, North and South America. The wide scope of the study means its findings are more globally applicable than earlier studies, which drew conclusions largely based on North American and European countries. The findings are relevant to a wider range of wildlife too. Unlike past research that focused only on specific types of animals, this study analysed many different types of wildlife, including pollinators like bees, hoverflies, butterflies, predators like birds, carabid beetles and spiders, pests like aphids, plant bugs and weevils, herbaceous plants that do not have woody stems, and decomposers like dung beetles and springtails. By analysing all the results from the earlier studies together, the scientists found that varieties in crops and non-crop landscape elements on farms consistently improved the biodiversity of vertebrates like birds and invertebrates like insects, herbaceous plants, pollinators, and predators. Some types of wildlife had more gains in biodiversity than others. Statistically, vertebrates and plants benefited more when both crop and non-crop features were diverse, while invertebrates showed similar benefits from either the diversification of crops or other non-crop features. Pollinators gained more from having crops and non-crop elements with more varied layouts than better link them to one another, while predators favoured higher diversity within the types of crops and non-crop features. These positive effects on farmlands were also consistently demonstrated in both tropical and temperate environments, in annual and perennial crops, and at different spatial scales, from within a few hundred metres of the farm to an area over several kilometres beyond the farm. Priya Dashana explained that growing diverse crop types alongside non-crop features on farms results in smaller areas for each crop type and creates mini habitats between different crops and non-crop fields. This encourages the presence of certain types of wildlife beneficial for crops. For example, certain semi-natural features between crop borders, like grass strips with wildflowers, might attract certain insect pollinators that could help pollinate nearby crops. Certain crop types and semi-natural features could also attract specific predators that feed on the crop pests. They say the research findings could help balance farmers' goals to earn profits with sustainability and environmental aims. Agricultural systems are often managed to maximise their production in the economic sense, but by adapting farming practices and rethinking the way we integrate crop and non-crop habitats, they can also be managed to minimise environmental issues and maximise important services like pollination and pest control that boost crop production. The researchers now plan to look into the social aspects that need to be considered when trying to encourage farmers to introduce more diversity to the farm's crops and landscapes. For instance, more studies could be done to understand better what motivates farmers to plant a variety of crops compared to just one type of crop. A hat-trick of brands have rolled out limited edition pies, donuts, pizzas and more ahead of the kickoff of the UEFA Euro 2024 football tournament. Over the next 4 weeks, millions of people across the nation will be engrossed in the matches playing out in Germany, including the 14th of June opener, featuring Scotland versus the hosts. And England's first group game, which is against Serbia, is on the 16th of June. Tartan Army Pie and Brownings, the bakers. The Ayrshire-based craft bakery has unveiled a beef and potato pie available from Aldi Scotland stores and selected Spar and Morrison's outlets, as well as its 6 retail shops and via its website for £2.30. We wanted to create a show-stopping pie that not only reflects the quality and heritage of our family craft bakers, but something that the nation could take to its heart as we support our national football team this summer, commented John Gale, Managing Director of Brownings. Our Tartan Army pie has a traditional Scottish beef mince and tatty filling and delicious puff pastry top, which we hope will appeal to football fans and pie lovers across Scotland. Brownings, which scored a registered trademark for its new Tartan Army pie, has a firm link with Scottish football, including sponsoring a local club Kilmarnock FC for 3 seasons. Its Kilmarnock pie won the steak pie category at the 2024 World Championship Scotch Pie Awards early in the year, and the firm was named overall Scotch Pie Champion twice, most recently in 2022. It's coming home donut box by Project D. The Derby-based donut specialist has created a box of 4 handmade sweet treats to accompany football parties for fans of tournament favourites England. Priced at £16.95, the It's Coming Home box is available for home delivery for a limited time only. Project D's pun game is impressive this campaign, with the 4-strong lineup including Jordan Pick and Mixford, a donut dipped in vanilla icing, sprinkled with red strands and white balls, and topped with sugar, strawberry, pencil bites, and Haribo hearts. Jude Bedding Jam. The deep-filled raspberry jam donut dipped in a red and white chocolate icing, sprinkled with biscuit crumb and finished with a jammy Dodger biscuit. The Declan Rice Crispy. A donut dipped in hard, cracking white chocolate, sprinkled in red chocolate balls, topped with a white chocolate crispy cake and white chocolate drizzle, and the filled Foden. It's a donut dipped in red and white chocolate icing, drizzled with white chocolate, piped with white chocolate hazelnut spread, and finished with half a white chocolate Kinder Bueno. Earlier this year, the company released a gold-covered 1 kilogram donut for Valentine's Day, and is now looking to emerge stronger following a recent loss-making quarter and closure of 2 retail locations. The Ultimate Spicy Sausage Range and Cookie by Domino's. The pizza chain is cheering on the return of its spicy sausage pizza in time for the latest international football fiesta, while also introducing dough ball and wrap variants with a similar kick alongside a new sweet treat option. The Ultimate Spicy Sausage Pizza proved to be one of Domino's most popular menu items upon its limited run debut during the 2022 World Cup. It is topped with its own recipe andouille sausage, salami slices, red jalapenos, 100% mozzarella, and vine ripened tomato sauce. Joining the pizza on menus at UK stores this summer are the Spicy Sausage Hot and Cheesy Wrap, featuring andouille sausage, mozzarella creamy cheese sauce, red onions and red jalapenos in a tortilla wrap, and the Spicy Sausage Twisted Dough Balls, made with Domino's signature dough, garlic and herb spread, mozzarella, and the same spicy andouille. Spicy sausage loaded fries have also been rolled out. Lastly, allowing spectators to end the match on a high is the double choc and caramel cookies, comprising a chocolate cookie dough loaded with chocolate chips and baked with a gooey melt in the middle caramel centre. All 4 items are available from now until the 8th of September nationwide, with prices varying across each Domino's stores. Back in April, Domino's launched a new £4 lunch menu that included 7-inch pizzas, filled tortilla wraps, and cookies. Australian researchers have shown that both liquid and pelleted forms of the red seaweed, Asparagopsis, significantly reduces methane emissions in dairy cows without affecting milk safety. Conducted at Agriculture Victoria's Enham Bank Smart Farm and funded by Agriculture Victoria, Greencore Limited and the Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry, their study highlights a promising strategy for sustainable livestock farming. With a methane suppressing effect of more than 20%, Asparagopsis is the most promising of many feeding strategies we have investigated, senior research scientist at Agriculture Victoria Rich Williams says. Red seaweeds such as Asparagopsis armata and Asparagopsis taxiformis have been widely reported to have anti-methanogenic effects when fed to dairy cows, though Williams noted the need for further research to enhance the effectiveness and delivery methods of red seaweed-based methane-blocking feeding strategies. The study involved 40 lactating Holstein Friesian cows, which were divided into 4 groups and given different dietary treatments twice daily for 34 days. The treatments included basic diets with and without seaweed supplements, provided either as a liquid or pellet. The cows' primary diet included vetch, hay, and a grain mix. Key findings revealed a 20% reduction in methane emissions for cows fed with both liquid and pelleted seaweed supplements. Critically, while the seaweed increased bromoform levels in milk, these remained far below the safety threshold for human consumption. This indicates that the seaweed supplements effectively reduce methane emissions and that the milk from these cows is safe to drink, concluding the authors. The study also explored new delivery systems such as Asparagopsis steeped in edible oils, which have proven equally effective in reducing methane emissions. Most research has focused on feeding livestock a total mixed ration TMR with Asparagopsis seaweed in every bite, say the authors. However, there's a need to find suitable ways to deliver these supplements in different farming systems where feeding isn't as frequent. Traditionally, Asparagopsis is freeze-dried and mixed into TMR with strong flavours like molasses to mask its taste. New formulations are being developed for easier on-farm use. One promising method involves soaking Asparagopsis in edible oils such as canola oil to extract and stabilise its bromoform content. Researchers concluded that both liquid and pelleted formulations are effective in reducing methane emissions with no impact on milk yield or feed intake and are safe for human consumption. The choice between liquid and pellet supplements can be made based on practicality and farm practices. Methane from the digestive process of livestock accounts for the majority of Australia's agricultural emissions, according to government data. Future Feed was formed in August 2020 to commercialise the Asparagopsis based technology developed by Australia's National Science Agency, CSIRO, together with MLA and James Cook University. Future Feed is supported by investors such as Greencore, Harvest Road Group, Woolworths Group, AGP Sustainable Real Assets, Spark Labs and Cultivate Joint Venture. The Australian Government's Methane Emissions Reduction in Livestock MERIL programme is designed to support the research and development of methane-reducing livestock, feed supplements and forage feeds. As most of Australia's livestock graze over large areas and have limited contact with farmers, the MERIL programme is also supporting work into the development of technologies to deliver methane-reducing feed supplements and other solutions for pasture-based production. Coop is looking to cater for major international sporting events celebrations with its Summer 2024 range, which features ready-to-eat picnic lines inspired by recipes from home and abroad. While new wraps and sandwiches showcase Chinese, Mexican, Italian and Northwest African cuisines, the savoury pastries and sweet treats have a quintessentially British vibe. The summer season is really important for us, and we work hard to deliver flavours and products we know our members and customers want, commented Nicole Tallant, head of Co-op brand. Our product development team have taken inspiration from culinary innovations, both locally and globally, creating a summer staple foods that can be enjoyed whatever the British summer weather throws at us. In terms of the wraps and sandwiches, a trio of new wraps includes the salt and pepper chicken wrap at £3.85 for 227 grams, comprising British chicken goujons with mixed vegetables, spinach and chili mayo in a chili tortilla wrap. There's also the steak fajita at £3.85 for 209 grams, made with steak strips, vegetables, cheddar cheese, beans, creme fraiche, chili and chipotle relish in a tomato tortilla wrap, as well as the harissa spiced falafel wrap at £3.85 for 222 grams, which is a vegan-friendly spiced falafel with harissa, hummus, spinach, mango chutney and slaw. Promising an authentic taste of Italy, meanwhile, is the irresistible salami mortadella focaccia sandwich at £3.85 for 218 grams. Milano salami mortadella sausage, pesto, mayo, soft cheese, tomato and rocket in a rosemary focaccia. All items listed above can be purchased as part of Co-op's premium meal deal for £5.50. Savoury pastries. The convenience retailer is helping to provide some quick and easy solutions for impromptu barbecue or parties, such as to watch a Euro 2024 game or the Paris Olympics events. There's the cheese and onion puffs at £3 for 96 grams, which are baked puff pastry parcels filled with extra mature cheddar, cream cheese and caramelised onions. The British Irresistible Ploughman sausage rolls at £3.50 for 188 grams contains British pork, cheese and sweet pickle wrapped in a flaky pastry topped with an onion crumb. Lastly, the British mini barbecue pork pies, £3 for 200 grams, have smoked seasoned British pork with barbecue sauce in crispy hot water crust pastry. And for the desserts, the summer season wouldn't be complete without some fruity, fresh, sweet indulgences. Co-op has opted for more British nostalgia in its 2024 range, such as the raspberry and peach flavour trifle at £3.50 for 600 grams, featuring raspberries in peach flavour jelly, topped with sponge vanilla flavoured custard and whipped cream. The blackcurrant cheesecake at £2.75 for 450 grams is a creamy cheesecake on a biscuit base with a zingy blackcurrant topping. With these irresistible strawberries and cream cheesecake slices at £3.50, that's 2 for 74 grams, are vanilla-flavoured cheesecakes on a digestive crumb base topped with strawberry sauce. Coca-Cola Euro-Pacific Partners, CCEP, has completed the rollout of attached cap plastic bottle production across all of its manufacturing sites in Great Britain. The phased rollout of attached plastic caps began 2 years ago, with its Morpeth, Northumberland factory to last to make the switch. Supported by a £7.5 million investment, the new bottle format keeps the cap connected to the bottle after opening in an attempt to make it easier to recycle the entire package. When recycling and running at full capacity, Morpeth will be able to produce 17.5 million unit cases of attached cap plastic bottles of Glasso Smart Water each year to be sold to customers across Britain. Alan French, Operations Director at CCEP's site in Morpeth, said Morpeth has played a key role in the business sustainability journey over the years. We were the first site in GB to produce bottles in 100% rPET, and we've sent waste to landfill in over 10 years. I'm proud of the strides we're making to step up our sustainability journey. A big thank you to the whole team here at Morpeth, who work hard to make all these changes possible. The move to attach caps on plastic bottles across CCEP's portfolio was part of the suite of changes made by business to create more opportunities for consumers to reuse or recycle packaging where possible. This included the increased use of recycled polyethylene terephthalate (rPET) in 500ml plastic bottles from 50% to 100%, and the rollout of sustainable cardboard outliers to replace plastic shrink wrap on all multi-pack cans. CTEP Vice President and General Manager for Great Britain, Stephen Morehouse, added, "We became the first major soft drinks producer in GB to introduce the innovative attached caps designed on our plastic bottles back in 2022, and we're pleased to have completed the transition across our portfolio of drinks we manufacture locally at our 5 sites. It's initiatives like these that play a big part in our commitment towards achieving a world without waste and in accelerating This Is Forward sustainability strategy." Greencore, Samworth Brothers and This have issued recalls as a precaution, with sandwiches, wraps and salads among the products impacted. So far, Greencore has recalled a total of 45 products, which include Aldi, Asda, Amazon, Boots, Co-op, Morrisons, Sainsburys SKUs. Meanwhile, 15 recalls have been issued by Samworth Brothers, Manton Wood, with impacted retailers comprising Tesco, The One Stop and the Gym Kitchen. Finally, This has recalled a meat-free chicken and bacon wrap that is only sold at WH Smith. E. coli has not been detected in any of these products, but the manufacturers have issued the recall notices as a precaution. As of earlier this week, a further 98 cases have been linked to the outbreak of STEC 145 in the UK. So far, the government reports that there have been a total of 211 cases, 47 in England, 27 in Wales, 35 in Scotland and 2 in Northern Ireland. Suggests these were acquired during a visit to England. Based on information from 160 cases to date, 42% have been admitted to hospital. Commenting, Darren Whitby, head of incidents at the FSA, described the investigation as complex and affirmed that the agency would not hesitate to take action. Sandwich manufacturers are taking a precautionary measure to recall various sandwiches, wraps, subs and rolls in response to findings from investigations by the Food Standards Agency FSA, Food Standards Scotland FSS and UK Health Security Agency UK HSA, who are working to identify the cause of an ongoing outbreak caused by Shiga toxin producing E. coli STEC. This is a complex investigation. We've worked swiftly with relevant businesses and the local authorities concerned to narrow down the wide range of foods consumed to a small number of salad leaf products that have been used in sandwiches, wraps, subs and rolls. Following a thorough food chain analysis, these products are being recalled as a precaution. The FSA is here to ensure that food is safe. If there are products on the market that are not, we won't hesitate to take action to remove them. Handmade cake specialist Patisserie Valerie has announced a distribution partnership with food service wholesaler Breaks. The deal will see the bakery brand's signature range of whole cakes, pastries, gâteau slices and afternoon teas offered to independent food service establishments across the UK and Ireland as part of their existing delivery service from Breaks. We are delighted to partner with Breaks to expand our reach and bring our beloved products to independent cafes and hotels, said James Fleming, CEO at Patisserie Valerie. Our success over the past century has been built on a reputation for quality, using only the freshest ingredients and traditional baking methods. This collaboration allows us to share our lovingly handmade cakes and patisseries with even more people, ensuring that every customer can experience the joy of our creations. Patisserie Valerie once operated more than 150 sites nationwide, but suffered a dramatic collapse in October 2018 that saw it require an immediate cash injection of £20 million. Fraud charges were later brought against 4 former employees, including its chief financial officer, who each pleaded not guilty at London's Southwark Crown Court on the 26th of April. All 4 defendants have been released on bail, with the trial set for the 2nd of March 2026. The company entered into administration in January 2019, with around 70 shops closed, but was quickly rescued via an acquisition by Irish private equity firm Horseway Capital, which also owned the Bakers and Barristers brand. Patisserie Valerie subsequently boosted its business by attracting strong online sales during the pandemic with its easy-to-navigate website, impressing judges in the Online Bakery Business of the Year category at the 2023 Baking Industry Awards. Its current shop estate stands at 30 locations, including the revamped flagship store in Bristol, with plans for more openings well ahead of its centennial in 2026. Meanwhile, Breaks revealed in April that it was committed to freezing prices on more than 400 baked goods until October to help provide stability to its food service customers. After EU member states endorsed proposals to ban traditional smoked food flavours, ITS has responded by launching a range of smoke-free and natural smoke flavourings. Following the expiration of the previous EU authorization last year, all smoke flavourings underwent an assessment. It was recently decided that authorization of 8 smoke flavourings for food would not be renewed over genotoxicity concerns. The ITS smoke-free range means food and beverage manufacturers can safely and legally use smoke-style flavours without the need for complex on-pack labelling declarations. Smoking is a method traditionally used to help preserve certain foods and can be added to foods to give them a smoky flavour. Smoky flavourings are produced by a wood-burning process called pyrolysis. The EU ban will see smoky flavours phased out in the EU when used to replace traditional smoking, for example for hams, fish and cheeses. The phase-out period is 5 years. For uses where the smoke flavouring is added for extra flavour, such as in soups, crisps and sauces, the phase-out period is shorter at 2 years. With news of the review circulating for some time, certain manufacturers have been ahead of the game, including PepsiCo, which has been reformulating its snacking portfolio so that UK and European products are smoke-free. ITS's latest range joins other companies undergoing similar innovations, including Sensient Flavours Extracts, which announced its smokeless smoked alternatives. While demand for smoked flavours, particularly in the meat and increasingly in the plant-based category, legislation with use lane declaration on packed smoked flavours has always been quite distinct. As a result, manufacturers have been reluctant to use real smoke, explained Carl Smith, head of innovations at ITS. This move by the European Commission means that manufacturers will need to quickly source natural alternatives to create the flavour and aroma of smoke in their products. Our smoke-free flavours offer this, and even better, they can simply be declared as natural flavourings on packaging for clean label appeal. The 15 products in the ITS range include familiar smoked styles such as hickory, beechwood or applewood, smoked paprika and smoked barbecue. But there are also some more unique combinations too, such as smoked vanilla, smoked maple and smoked fruits. Global food and beverage firm Danone has formed a new advanced fermentation platform along with several industry partners. Working in tandem with tire manufacturer Michelin, US startup DMC Biotechnologies and investor Credit Agricole Centre France, Danone has agreed to create the Biotech Open Platform, which is aimed at bolstering the development of advanced fermentation processes and precision fermentation in particular. Fermentation is a biological process that can produce bio-based materials and ingredients, and the platform is keen to find new ways in which this process can be developed on a larger scale. With an investment of more than 16 million euros in the first phase, the industrial and technological platform will be located in Clermont-Ferrand within the Parc Hattereau Centre for Sustainable Materials, an innovation accelerator supported by Michelin. The Biotech Open Platform is also receiving support from institutions including the University of Clermont-Auvergne, Green Tech, the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region, and the European Regional Development Fund, ERDF, and Clermont-Auvergne Metropole. As the food and drink industry searches for more sustainable solutions, biotechnology offers a promising alternative using microorganisms like bacteria, yeast, or fungi. Precision fermentation can produce proteins, enzymes, and other molecules that are used in the industry. The founders of the Biotech Open Platform aim to install an initial demo-scale production line, including a fermenter and purification equipment by 2025, before installing additional equipment and a second production line in the following years. This ramp will enable the platform to meet the scale-up needs of its founders and to gradually open it up to other companies facing the challenge of scaling up in the industrial biomanufacturing sector. Danone CEO Antoine de Saint-Affrique commented, "At Danone, we have always been focused on investing in the future of food, and this partnership is the next step in this journey. We look forward to working with our partners to develop cutting-edge fermentation technologies, which will accelerate innovation, health benefits, and decarbonization in the food industry. We are proud to be part of this collective effort and to strengthen our contribution to meet the challenges facing the industry today." Meanwhile, DMC Chief Executive Kenny Orodes added, "We are enthusiastic about this new partnership with companies that are at the heart of French life. For us, as an American startup, the development of the new Biotech Open Platform will enable us to accelerate the scale-up and commercialization of new products leveraging our transformative fermentation technology. Sainsburys is to cut the amount of plastic used in its fish and chicken packaging by 70%, saving up to 700 tons of material each year. All of the retailers' own label salmon trays will switch to pulp cardboard from plastic, apparently a first for a UK retailer, saving 346 tons of plastic a year. Similarly, Sainsbury's is rolling out cardboard trays across its Taste the Difference and Buy Sainsbury's breaded chicken lines, saving a further 300 tonnes of plastic a year. The same change will also take place to its Taste the Difference fish fillets, with 48 tonnes of plastic saved. The new packaging will roll out throughout the summer across many seasonal chicken lines, including Sainsbury's finger food and barbecue range. The more sustainably packaged range will offer breaded goujons, nuggets, schnitzels, and others on-theme products. Sainsbury's described the pot trays from all salmon lines and cardboard trays across breaded chicken and fish as easily recyclable in a bid to help consumers to reduce their household waste by placing the packaging in curbside recycling at home. Claire Hughes, Director of Product and Innovation at Sainsbury's, said, "With salmon being one of our most popular fish, we made it a priority to reduce the plastic packaging of this much-loved product as we work towards our plan for better goals. We're now the first retailer to make the move to have recycled pulp card trays across all our Buy Sainsbury's and Taste the Difference salmon products. Together with changes to our breaded fish and chicken packaging, we are set to save 694 tonnes a year, a significant step towards our plastic reduction goals." Sweaty cows could help solve a number of global warming-related food security issues, according to new research by the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences. As cattle get too hot, they tend to stop eating, observed UFIFAS Professor Laruca Matiscu. This in turn affects their health and growth and threatens the longevity of the food supply coming from that herd. Climate change has made it more difficult to raise cattle, so researchers are exploring ways to breed cattle that is better adapted to hotter and longer summers. Heat stress in subtropical regions, which are the areas just north and south of the tropics, and generally considered the hottest in the world, is such a significant limiting factor that about £291 million or $369 million of beef production is lost annually due to reduced performance nationally. Heat stress is the main threat of food security. Under heat stress, the growth, production and reproduction of cattle are, since cows eliminates 85% of their body heat via sweat. Matiscu and her colleagues have worked to identify the genes within the breeds of cattle that would lead to the sweatiest, heat-tolerant offspring. Their study, published in the Journal of Animal Science and Biotechnology, found that there is a lot of variation between cows of the same breed, in this case Brangus, which are a cross between Brahman and Angus. Being able to select cattle to breed based on sweating ability could lead to herds that can tolerate hot climates and still grow and reproduce. Unless we're doing something to affect the ability of our cattle to thrive in heat stress conditions, they are not going to reproduce, so there's a food security concern there. The study looked at 2,401 Brangus cattle from 2 commercial ranches in Florida. Skin biopsies helped the researchers determine the phenotypes that contributed to the animal's ability to manage heat stress, such as sweat gland area, depth, and length. Scientists genotyped all animals and used software to estimate genetic parameters. The study found that a moderate amount of variation in sweating ability is genetic, so farmers could select sweatier cattle based on genetic markers. It found that genetics from both the Brahman and Angus genes positively contribute to sweating ability in Brangus cattle. Agriculture technology solutions must address financing for smallholder farms together with Scope 3 emissions and inequity across multiple sectors of industry in order to meet sustainability goals. This was the consensus among panelists at a recent webinar co-hosted by the Food and Land Use FOLU Coalition, World Business Council for Sustainable Development WBCSD, and Women Business Coalition. Titled "How Can Businesses Secure a More Sustainable, Equitable and Resilient Future for the Food Sector?" The webinar was moderated by FOLU Coalition Executive Director Morgan Gillespie and featured a panel of 5 industry experts. They included Emmeline Fullis, Senior Director of Agriculture and Food and a member of the WBCSD's Extended Leadership Group, Owen Bethels, Nestlé's Environmental Impact Lead for Global Public Affairs, Milindi Sibo-Mano, Chief Agricultural Officer of the One Acre Fund Rwanda, Luke Pritchard, Deputy Director for Nature-Based Solutions at the We Mean Business Coalition, and Alex Adrioli, a Research Manager at Systemic. The event delved into key insights from FOLU, We Mean Business, and WBCSD's recently published report series Future Fit Food and Agriculture. While the panelists emphasised the need to drive agricultural tech adoption among smallholder farms, they also looked at new financing sources, identified untapped areas for innovation, highlighted the potential of underutilised indigenous crops, and explored the role companies should play in making the global food system fit for the future. The urgency of food systems transformation. Jill Spy began by emphasizing the urgency of transforming food systems and highlighting research from the Food Systems Economic Commission, FSEC. The report revealed that the current food system was incurring annual costs of over $10 trillion, with projections suggesting a further $4 trillion increase by 2050 due to health and environmental damages. She said that food and land use systems are the largest driver of ecosystem conversion and biodiversity loss, accounting for 70% of freshwater withdrawals globally. Addressing Scope 3 emissions. Next, Andreoli presented key findings from the Future Fit Food and Agriculture Report series, stressing the significance of Scope 3 emissions. These constituted 90% of emissions for large multinational food companies, mainly from purchased ingredients and products. He noted agriculture and land use change within company value chains account for approximately half of global food system emissions. To mitigate these emissions, the report recommended an annual investment of $205 billion between 2025 and 2030. While this figure seems massive, it actually represents under 2% of food sector revenues. This investment would support on-farm solutions, such as agroforestry and anaerobic digesters, which could enhance farmer revenues and increase carbon sequestration. Overcoming cost inequities. Andreoli went on to address the inequitable distribution of transition costs across the value chain, illustrating this disparity by comparing the financial burden of achieving mitigation targets among different actors in the beef industry. For a Brazilian beef farmer, for example, the transitional costs could lead to insolvency, while for a multinational food company, it represents less than 1% of revenues. To address this, he added companies needed to collaborate with farmers and policymakers to develop equitable solutions and manage transition costs effectively. Financing and support from farmers. Expanding on this point, Phyllis highlighted the need for financial support to ensure income stability for farmers. She said less than 4% of companies identify living income benchmarks or calculate living income gaps. The very first step is to start measuring and identifying interventions that support farmers. We need to have clearer asks in terms of finance, and we need to define clear solutions. We need to find ways to go through public and private sources and other supporting solutions for farmers, such as supplying low or no interest working capital loans to farmers, securing offtake agreements to guarantee demand for sustainable products, and offering at premium prices. At the same time, Bethel emphasized the importance of funding frontline projects. He stated that the number one thing companies should do is allocate sufficient funding to the frontline, the people who implement these projects as part of their net zero and transition plans. Enhancing farmer engagement and market connectivity. Continuing on the subject of cooperating with farmers, Subramana discussed the importance of maintaining proximity to farmers and providing continuous advisory support. He noted that the lack of advisory extension support is one of the biggest challenges in transitioning farmers to new technologies and practices. He also emphasized the need for strong information loops between farmers and markets to ensure consistent quality and demand for produce. In our work for farmers in East Africa on market linkages, we find that there's a big disconnect. Whatever the quality required from markets, farmers are not able to meet that or are trying to grow into that. But the markets are not yet ready to risk or invest at that level, so I think that there needs to be that information loop connecting farmers to businesses. Barriers to market access and financing. Subramana went on to say that smallholder farmers often struggled with accessing higher value markets due to stringent requirements like certifications. We understand the value of certifications, but for a smallholder farmer with limited means, it's sometimes a barrier to entry. How can we incentivize farmers to go from point A to point B? The current subsidy system also played a significant role in these inequities. Subramana stressed the enormous amount of environmentally harmful agricultural subsidies, approximately $405.55 trillion annually, that needs reallocation. He also advocated for redirecting these subsidies to support climate-smart agricultural practices without taking essential support away from farmers. Subramana said, if we don't align how these subsidies are flowing, it isn't going to make much of a dent in what the private sector does. But we also need to be politically prudent and cognizant of what those subsidies are for farmers around the world. Those subsidies will keep the lights on and the farms running. Innovating beyond commodity-centric systems. In addition to addressing Scope 3 emissions and ramping up support for farmers, the panelists also discussed the issue of commodity-centric systems. In particular, Pritchard called for a shift from such systems to a model that valued environmental and societal impact. That system has been successful in driving operational and economic efficiencies, especially in some of these complex international supply chains. But I think it's also come at the expense of farmers. This mindset reinforces the notion that the way farmers steward land and cultivate crops is interchangeable and there are little consequences. We need to transition to a system where we place value not just on what comes off the farm, but also on what happens on the farm. It's changing that fundamental relationship with farmers, so we're not just having these one-off transactional experiences, but putting the farmers at the centre of the system as indispensable long-term partners vital for establishing dependable, resilient supply chains in the face of climate change. Then went on to highlight the progress of companies like Nestle, Danone and Pepsi in moving towards a post-commodity era. However, he also warned of the dire need to accelerate along this path to ensure sufficient investments in the correct areas and minimise transitional risk for farmers. Harnessing indigenous crops and untapped innovations. The panel also identified the potential of underutilised indigenous crops, which were often more resilient to local climates and conditions. As such, they could play a crucial role in sustainable agricultural practices and food sovereignty. To this end, fellows emphasised the need for a shift towards regenerative systems that prioritise resilience to climate change and equitable food distribution. Additionally, the panel identified several untapped areas for agricultural technology innovation. Fellows mentioned the importance of developing appropriate metrics to measure and understand risks and opportunities in corporate performance. This will allow them to mobilise different actions outside the companies and will really help shift the investment to research and development and innovation, as well as procurement. In a similar vein, the panel discussed the necessity of investments in farm equipment tailored for regenerative agriculture and polycultural practices. Silverman highlighted the challenges in making such technology affordable and accessible to smallholder farmers, saying that developing local solutions and supporting micro-level entrepreneurs could bridge this gap, driving agricultural tech adaptation and innovation. Expanding on the need for a paradigm shift towards regenerative agriculture and more innovative approaches to reduce labour and enhance efficiency, Bethel said we need to consider how to create a bottom-up movement policy change that isn't about imposing something from a big multinational. He also emphasised the importance of grassroots support and dialogue with farmers. Pritchard, on the other hand, pointed out that by reducing food waste and loss could lead to significant efficiency gains midstream and downstream. Highlighting the untapped potential in the supply chain beyond the farm level, he said, "We're producing more than enough food to do it already. It's about getting it to the right places and making sure we're not losing it along the way." The role of businesses and policymakers. The collaboration between businesses and policymakers was another critical point of the webinar. Bethel brought up the necessity of creating an enabling environment to achieve significant sustainability goals, saying engagement with policymakers is crucial. Having the right enabling environment will help us go from a project-based approach to a 20% reduction by 2025. I think we can do that without necessarily having big shifts in external policy, but getting to 50% reduction and net zero and creating other positive outcomes in biodiversity and water resources does require a slightly bigger system shift. He added that Nestle offered innovative solutions like microinsurance for coffee farmers to protect against climate impacts, thereby demonstrating how business could lead in supporting farmers through the transition to more sustainable practices. Pritchard perhaps summed up the key findings of the webinar best by saying, placing the farmers at the centre of the system as its indispensable long-term partners is vital for establishing resilient supply chains in the face of climate change. New donuts, biscuits, pretzels, loaf cakes, buns, and flapjacks featuring classic combinations or twists on traditions have been rolled out recently by suppliers. There are some summer flavour inclusions like strawberry coconut, as well as NPD inspired by classic recipes such as baked gold tarts and cinnamon buns, one of the debutants in an updated version of this. There's also new stackable formats from a famous shortbread maker, plus a bakery category debut from a household syrup brand. Philly Strawberry Donuts by Baker & Baker. Following a successful launch in key European markets, including Germany, these limited edition treats from sweet bakery supplier Baker & Baker are now available for UK consumers to enjoy over the summer. The ring donuts, which contain no artificial colourings, flavours, preservatives or eggs, and are suitable for vegetarians, are filled with a fruity strawberry filling and topped with pink icing and red sugar pearls. Sold frozen to food service operators and retailers, they simply require thawing before serving and offer a 2-day shelf life. Strawberries are always associated with the fun of summertime, comments Helen Sinclair, UK marketing manager at Baker & Baker, and with a summer of sport set to encourage thousands of consumers to visit food outlets across the UK, what better way to celebrate a win? The manufacturer recently unveiled investment of almost £2.9 million in a new American-style cookie line at its bakery site in the Wirral. Cherry and almond biscuits by Cartwright and Butler. The family-run firm, which has been baking tea-time treats in East Yorkshire for over 115 years, sees the new cherry and almond flavour added to its biscuit range of more than 15 other varieties, including stem ginger, pistachio and strawberry and white chocolate. Cartwright and Butler noted that its recent consumer survey found 70% of respondents identify the classic flavour combo of cherry and almond, inspired by the traditional bakewell tart, are their preferred flavour profile in biscuits. The newly launched product features a mix of crumbly biscuits, glazed cherry pieces, ground almonds and almond extract. It is available in 200-gram pastel pink tins at £12 at Waitrose, WH Smith's, Selfridges, Harrods and Dufry stores, as well as via Ocado and the brand's own website. Cinnamon bun flavoured pretzels by Flips. The Patisserie-owned snack brand has expanded its sweet, savoury pretzel range with the new limited edition cinnamon bun flavour. The NPD launch is said to appeal to shoppers on the lookout for innovative sharing snacks inspired by the hottest trending flavours. Sharing pouches at £1.65 for 90 grams and price marked packs at £1.25 for 80 grams are being launched at Co-op and Nisa stores first, before wider rollout for convenience retailers and wholesale channels. UK consumption of cinnamon products has increased by 59.5% since 2016, partly thanks to the growing popularity of bakeries that specialise in cinnamon buns, said Adam Wolf, marketing director at McVitie's for Pladis UK and I, citing the UK's Cinnamon Market Report 2022 by Index Spelks, with 40% at CAGR forecasted for cinnamon products between now and 2027. Now is a perfect time for us to expand the Flips range with this on-trend flavour. According to brand value sales data, Flips has been one of the biggest snack brands to launch over the past 5 years, with a current worth of £12.7 million. Nielsen data from the 4th of May 2024. Starting out with its classic milk chocolate variant, it has since added on-trend flavours of cookies and cream, peanut butter and salted caramel. Jam and Coconut Mega Loaf by Yorkshire Baking Company. Another limited edition flavour has been added to the loaf cake range of the Bradford-based manufacturer, owned by Regal Foods Products. The newly developed Jam and Coconut Mega Loaf at £2.50 will be available at Morrison's stores from the 19th of June, where it'll be joined by the brand's banana and carrot flavours, which are being brought back after an initial launch in March. This summer, we wanted to introduce something new and exciting to the bakery market, said Aaron Cleland, sales director at Yorkshire Baking Company. Whilst the combination of jam and coconut remains a British classic, it was our aim to add our own modern twist by launching this family favourite in our great value mega loaf format. Cinnamon Bun by Bird's Bakery. The East Midlands bakery chain claims the latest addition to its breakfast menu has been a long time in the baking, describing it as a hybrid between a croissant and a Danish pastry, with a bespoke cinnamon fillet. The cinnamon bun features 72 layers of rich all-butter flaky pastry, specially created by one of Bird's master bakers. Our talented product innovation specialist, with the help of our talented bakers, has spent a considerable amount of time perfecting the recipe to refine the ideal swell, texture and flavour, commented Jamie Bird, Director of Strategy at Bird's. He added that the buns are hand-rolled tightly and cut to size before being dipped into white warm fondant after cooling from the oven to give them a sweet, glossy glaze. The cinnamon bun can be purchased at any of Bird's Bakery's 61 stores or online for home delivery via its Birds by Post service. The company created a limited edition double chocolate donut last month in celebration of National Donut Week 2024. Caramel Doughnuts by Morrison's. The retailer has announced that caramel has become a permanent fixture in its fresh donut range. The new caramel donut joins the raspberry, strawberry and custard varieties, which are all priced at 90p for a 5-pack and sold at Morrison's Market Street in-store bakery counters. According to Morrison's, shoppers were said to consume over 69 million donuts from its bakeries last year. Other new sweet treats launched recently include fresh cream and lemon ball donuts, £1 for a 2-pack, cinnamon mini dough nuts, £1 for an 8-pack, and fresh cream caramelized biscuit ball donuts, £1 for a 2-pack. The Top Flavour Trends 2024 report had previously tipped nostalgia-evoking caramel to be one of this year's most popular inclusions. Wee Shorties by Walkers. This innovative snacking range from Scottish brand Flavours and features its famous all butter shortbread in either bite-sized mini fingers or mini cookie-shaped pieces with chocolate chips. Sold in 15-bag multi-packs, the Wee Shorties are available exclusively at WH Smith stores within global travel retail. Walkers said the Wee Shorties is set to drive further success by tapping into new consumption moments to recruit the next generation of shortbread lovers. It said the snackable format appeals to time-poor shoppers looking for a tasty but easily transportable snack. The launch follows a successful brand refresh and packaging redesign which aimed to celebrate the Scottish roots of Walkers while supporting its ambitions for future growth. In its most recent full-year accounts, the family-run firm reported a 16% increase in turnover, although profits dipped slightly due to a challenging inflationary environment. Flapjacks by Lyris Golden Syrup. Having long been a popular bakery ingredient for homemade flapjacks, the brand originated in 1883. Lyris Golden Syrup has now entered the ambient snacking category at UK supermarkets. Pitched at consumers' on-the-go purchase habits, the new flapjacks are described as gloriously gooey and generous, as well as delivering a well-rounded, enticing take on the well-loved British classic. The launch is being accompanied by a 6-figure marketing campaign, comprising of e-commerce, advertising, in-store sampling, and paid social. Multi-packs of 5 individually wrapped flapjacks, £2.50, are being rolled out at Sainsburys stores and via Ocado this month. We're sure that our launch, crafted with care and quality you'd expect from Lyris, can simultaneously provide a great tasting product for these consumers, and that bringing the power of the Lyris brand to a segment that doesn't have a clear brand lead will drive incremental value for retailers, commented Nick James, marketing director for Lyris Golden Syrup. Despite the flapjack packs and plastic bottles of syrup displaying a new for 2024 branding, a stylized golden lion head, the company holds a Guinness World Record for the world's oldest unchanged brand packaging. Its green and gold tins still feature a dead lion and swirled bees, with the tagline "Out of the strong came forth the sweetness," alluding to the biblical story of Samson. Lyris, formerly Red Sea, which helps growers in the most difficult farming environments around the world to increase crop yields, reduce input costs and risks, and extend growing seasons, has completed a $16 million Series A fundraise. Now the hard work starts again. Originally conceived by scientists at King Abdullah University of Science and Technology in Saudi Arabia, the company has developed innovative technologies to enable commercial farming in hot and arid climates globally. The company says its products tackle the real and increasing urgent challenges of extreme heat and water scarcity in agriculture. Its flagship product, Second Sky, is transparent heat-blocking greenhouse cover that blocks excessive heat, maintains consistent temperatures, and reduces heat stress on plants. Second Sky, which won the prestigious Davidson Prize in 2023 for outstanding agricultural innovation, has delivered reductions in energy usage by over 40% and water consumption by 30% at customer installations. Lyris is selling Second Sky polycarbonate, polyethylene nets, and soon-to-be launched shade screens to customers growing fresh produce in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Morocco, Spain, Portugal, Mexico, and North America. It has also developed plant genetics via a novel hybridization process that has potential to breed resiliency to salinity, heat, and drought across a broad range of crops, ensuring a stress-resistant, dependable food production. Lyris says its platform of proprietary technologies reduces energy and water consumption by up to 90% in their target markets. The fundraiser round was led by Ecosystem Integrity Fund, EIF, a San Francisco-based climate and sustainability fund supporting high-growth companies that drive positive environmental impact. It was supported by current and new institutional investors, including Global Ventures, Dubai Future District Fund, Canoe Ventures, Globovest, and Bonaventure Capital. The proceeds will support increased sales of Second Sky greenhouse covers and nets. It will also fund continued development of the company's heat-blocking products and resilient plant genetics. Lyris estimates the global market for greenhouse covers is worth $6 billion in recurring annual sales. Yet growers in harsh and volatile conditions are underserved by innovation in this area, according to Sasha Brown, partner at EIF. EIF has been studying the impact of increasingly extreme weather on agriculture. Lyris' suite of products are tailored for growers in harsh and volatile conditions, who have been underserved historically by agri-climate tech innovation. These growers, who often operate on thin margins, have few options to better manage their farms to reduce the risk of crop loss, increase yields, and reduce water and energy consumption. We have invested in Lyris because we believe that there are few companies that have such tremendous potential to become a critical partner for a mass market of growers, as they see seek to adapt their operations to withstand and mitigate changing climates. John Kepler, executive chairperson of Lyris, said the fundraising is an acknowledgement of the hard work the company has done to create truly impactful products and the potential that they have for the global farming community. Now the hard work starts again, he said, with a clear growth plan to scale up the global scales of our Second Sky infrared heat radiation blocking covers, expanding the network of manufacturers and distributors, and reaching out to farmers and growers in hot climates. We'll also continue development of our genetics business. Key to driving uptake is physically experiencing Second Sky and the data we have to demonstrate that there are tangible benefits once this material is deployed. It is very much a see-feel review experience. Anyone that walks under Second Sky compared to a traditional plastic greenhouse cover can feel the difference immediately. Understanding the metrics in terms of reduced input costs, increased yield, and extended growing season provides empirical support of the benefits it can bring to their business. The company intentionally set out to create a technology that is as easy to adopt as possible. Second Sky products are designed as a one-for-one replacement of traditional agricultural covers. It is installed in exactly the same way, no new techniques are required for deployment, and the technology starts working from the second it is installed. This complex simplicity belies the groundbreaking innovation of integrating the technology into these products. What our customers do understand is that the Second Sky is installed, their crops are protected from a massive degree of the harmful near-infrared heat radiation without compromising the light their crops need to grow. Why is investment in new ag tech too often outside of farmers' means? But is this an affordable solution for growers? Farmers in controlled agricultural must periodically invest to replace their covers. On average, it's 3 years for polyethylene, 8 for polycarbonate, said Kepler. There is a premium on the price of a Second Sky replacement above that cost. Most farmers will achieve a return on investment for that premium within a single annual crop season, if not sooner. Based on what we've seen, farmers generate increased profits within the first crop cycle after Second Sky is installed in their farms to cover the premium paid for the material compared to traditional plastic greenhouse covers. In designing East to adopt products, a key design imperative was to ensure that was not just in terms of physical deployment as a one-for-one replacement, but to ensure that the products are accessible to the 70% of the world's farmers that are operating in low to mid-tech cultivation. For them, investment in new ag tech is all too often outside of their means. Second Sky is an investment that is affordable and delivers immediate impact. Another challenge for the company going forward is getting regulatory approval in its target markets for its plant genetics solutions, but field trial results augur well, Kepler said. In field trials for processing tomatoes, for example, we have seen impressive increases in crop yields. Of course, results need to be validated over sufficient time for us to publish these results and then seek regulatory approval. We are well underway in this process. Better Seeds welcomes former Bayer executive as chairman. The Israel-based company that uses gene editing technology, specifically CRISPR, to genetically improve crops and design better seeds, has announced the appointment of Dr. Helmut Schramm, a former Bayer Crop Life executive and highly respected agricultural industry leader, as chairman of the board. Dr. Schramm brings a wealth of experience and expertise to this role, having served as the former president of agricultural affairs at Bayer Crop Science, CEO of Bayer CS Germany LLC, and president of the Agricultural Industry Association, IBA. We're incredibly honoured to have Dr. Schramm join our team as chairman, said Ido Margalit, the CEO of Better Seeds. His proven track record of success in the agricultural sector, combined with his deep understanding of the market and strategic vision, will be invaluable as we continue to develop innovative solutions to address climate change and global hunger challenges. He added that throughout his career at Bayer, Dr. Schramm has consistently demonstrated a commitment to innovation and growth within the agricultural industry. Being passionate about innovation in agriculture, I'm delighted to serve as chairman of the board at Better Seeds, said Dr. Schramm. What task could be more honourable than contributing to fight hunger? The innovative breeding technology developed by Better Seeds will be key to produce drought and heat-resistant crops, which are strongly needed in times of climate change. Together, we can shape a more sustainable future for agriculture. What's key to CRISPR's broader adoption in agriculture? Dr. Schramm's appointment comes as Better Seeds seeks to enable the broader use of CRISPR in agriculture. This technology is well known and its value is well understood, but we are seeing that even though it's been 12 years since it was discovered, there's been a slow adoption and few products on the market. The main reason for that is that using CRISPR technology is arduous and it's very difficult applying it across all crops. Margaret is himself a former Syngenta business development manager who co-founded Better Seeds in 2017 on the conviction that CRISPR tech is the future of agriculture. He said Better Seeds uses CRISPR gene editing to design better performing and more resilient crop varieties to address food security and climate change challenges facing agriculture. According to Margalit, current precision technologies can't address the fundamental challenges of climate change and reducing agriculture's carbon footprint. Via its proprietary EDGE efficient delivery of gene editing platform, therefore it enables the application of CRISPR gene editing across a wide range of crops. It aims to boost crop yields, accelerate maturation times, and make crops more resilient to climate change factors like heat, drought, and herbicide resistance. This platform is intertwined with a unique AI-powered genome editing tool and unique climate resilience traits. Together, these solutions aim to unlock the true potential of CRISPR technology, allowing Better Seeds to design crops with built-in climate resiliency, empowering farmers with the solutions they need to adopt sustainable practices, protect the global food supply, and significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Companies have a very narrow product portfolio, and we are seeing crops being applied with it, said Margalit. To make CRISPR easy, cheap, and broadly used, you need a delivery technology that can apply it across all crops. This is one of the fundamental technologies that we are working on. CRISPR does amazing work once in the plant, he continued. We now need a solution to enable it to reach each and every plant cell of each and every type of crop. EDGE is the key to enable the actual broad use of CRISPR. It's the missing piece in the puzzle. In order for crops to perform, they need genetic traits that enable them to survive the climate change challenges that exist, like drought and heat. Up to now, conventional breeding has not been able to provide those solutions, explained Margalit. CRISPR enables us to resurface into those plants those hidden traits that exist in those plants. Better Seeds is the first company to successfully edit the highly nutritious cowpea gene for higher mechanically harvestable yields. Its traits can reduce the water intake of farmers by 70% because the crops they planted don't need as much water. Better Seeds' business model further aims to facilitate the broader use of CRISPR technology. It recently acquired the commercial seeds unit of an Israeli company to merge seed breeding expertise with its gene editing technology for faster commercialization. As well as selling seeds direct to farmers via its fully owned subsidiary seed company, it also is licensing its technology, both EDGE and its traits, to the large multinationals.